All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This should honestly have been one of my very first videos. You clicked on it, you know what it's about. We're diving deep into Morgan. That wasn't dirty. This is going to be everything Morgan video, so let's begin. Okay, so as you know, you play the game. You're given Morgan for free. So if you thought you got really lucky and you pulled her when you did your first 10 pull, not true. She is given for free. She's programmed in. And oddly enough, it's kind of weird that I would say that she is definitely a contender for the top 3 best heroes in the game. She's just I can't understate or overstate that enough. She is an amazing hero, as we're going to see. So let's talk about Morgan. Let's talk about her passives first, as we do. Passive number 1, Veil of Night. Available uses only 2. She can only do this twice. When attacking, when current HP is 50% or below, she's going to change the weather to night. Morgan likes it to be night. Why? Because you get a 100% chance to gain effect accuracy 3 for the rest of the battle, as long as the weather's night. So if she changes it to night and you have, like, say, Merlin in your team who changes it to day, you're going to lose the effect accuracy increase bonus, and you have a 100% chance to gain attack speed increase 3, so the biggest attack speed gain you can get as long as the weather is night. So it is very important that you bring heroes with her that can turn the weather to night at the start of battle, like Turin. And then she's just going to get all these buffs. I guess she's going to get it as soon as she attacks when her HP drops below 50. I think that's how that reads. Because you'll see that she'll drop below 50. It isn't until she attacks in a fight that the weather actually changes. So, good to know. If you bring in a hero like Turin, the weather's night, she's not going to get the bonuses until she drops below 50% health and then attacks. But still, very cool. But then if you turn it to day, you're going to lose those. So don't pair her with day weather changing characters. Passive 2, Maligning Vortex. When using skill 2, which you're going to be using for 90% of this game, reduce the target's attack gauge by 35%. Cooldown of 3. You can take that to a cooldown of 2 if you max it. And remove 2 buffs from the target. That is very helpful in some fights, which we'll maybe discuss. And then passive number 3, Squall of Thorns. Now this one's I wanted to say the cat's pajamas, but that just makes me sound like a 75-year-old man. This one's the cat's pajamas, the bee's knees. When using a skill, and it doesn't start out, it's when using skill 3. You have to get Chivalry 3 to change it, which is very important. But at C3, when using a skill, inflicts defense decrease 2 for 2 turns, inflicts damage taken increase 3 for 2 turns. So she's lowering your enemy's defense, and at the same time, and on top of that, you're going to be doing more damage as well. So it's like a double shebang. I don't know why I want to say shebang, but a double sucker punch, double tap. Again, this is a max though too, so drops it down to a cooldown of 2 and increases these turns for 2. So basically, when using a skill, she's always going to be able to apply these decreased defense and damage taken increase 3 for 2 turns, cooldown 2 turns. So she applies it, and then it goes away. That can be resisted though. So those are her passives. You know, they don't sound game breaking, but they're pretty damn good. So let's talk about relics. Let's talk about her relics. Now, you're going to be given the Fire Relic, and for 75% of the game, Fire Relic is just fine. You see mine is 6-star, 5 Awakening. Now, you want the majority of all of your skill ups to go into this baby, S2. But you don't get to dictate that. The game picks for you. Attacks all enemies 3 times, so it's an AoE. 60% chance at level 2 to decrease target's attack gauge by 10% with every attack. So you can go 60%, 60%, 60%. Take them right down to 0. This, in the Fire Relic, is the one you're going to be spamming nonstop. You are actually never going to need to ever do S3. Just S2. That is, that is just fine. Her ice. Now, her ice is good. Some people say that it is one of the best relics in the game. I would say that there are some better ones. I would like Lot Fire. I would like Jillian. Jillian Ice is probably the one you should pick if you ever get a selector. But the Frost one is good for certain fights. Absolutely. It's S2, which you're going to be wanting to do S2. Again, it's an AoE. Now you're going to 40% chance to remove one buff. So every time you use it, you have a chance to remove a buff. And 90% chance to inflict damage taken increase 2 for 3 turns. Remember, she's also applying damage taken increase 3 on her passive. Right there. Damage taken increase 3 for 2 turns. So unless stronger ones overwrite weaker ones, you could have 2. You could have damage taken increase 2 and 3 for 3 turns. Well, 2 for 3 turns, which lets you do some pretty nutty damage. If I'm being honest, lets you do some pretty nutty damage. And then you can take this up to remove more buffs if you get it up to level 4. And then you can raise this to 50% at level 5. Now, you're not really going to be wanting to do this. So recharge allies' attack gauge by 70%, but it gives them a shield. Some people think that this is good in I do believe it's the middle dragon, the one dragon that needs shields. I can't remember which dragon it is. We'll go look at all the dungeons. Some people think that the S3 is good there, but you're just going to bring in Guinevere there to give shields as well. So that's the ice relic. Out of the 3, the ice one's probably used the least. I actually think that the wind one is one of the best ones, although the wind one right now is currently locked behind a paywall. Tell me in the comment section below if you have gotten the wind relic from a summoning token. I don't know if you can. So this one is in the shop. I don't advocate spending, but it is absolutely fantastic. Why? Because just like the Frost one, inflicting defense decrease 2, this one is an AoE. Wait. Look. 90% chance to inflict defense increase 2. So, yeah. So the wind basically does the same thing for 2 turns. And then this is a AoE sleep. AoE sleep, this can be used in a lot of places where you need to control the fight. Now, in her fire and her ice, you never really ran S3, but the wind relic S3 is quite powerful because it's if you get it maxed as well, which you see I did, recovery disruption and 2-turn sleep, which is very, very nice to be able to control a whole board of enemies. So, but the vast majority of you that are watching this are probably just going to have access to her fire relic, which is just fine. So let's talk about chivalries. Now, chivalries are probably, I would say that her chivalries are the most important of any hero. Why? You can't see it underneath my head, but Chivalry 1, at the start of battle, 100% independent chance to grant each ally damage dealt increase 1 for the rest of the battle, as long as the weather is night. So how this would work, though, is that if it's day at the start of battle, they're not going to get this. If you pair her with a healer like Turin, who changes it to night at the start of battle, then she can have, damage dealt increase. Yeah, damage dealt. Basically, attack up. So to get the benefit of this, which is nice, you're going to have to pair her with a hero that changes the weather to night at the start of battle. C2, Malignant Vortex, attack gauge reduction plus 15%. Very, very, very important. You saw when we went through the one passive how that when you use your S2, when you use your S2, it reduces attack gauge. And it's on a cooldown. You only get so many uses. But this one, increases the amount of attack gauge reduction you do. Now, for fire that has built-in attack gauge reduction on the S2 anyway in the skill itself, this isn't that important. But you know, it's a nice, it's handy for starting off the fights. This one's probably the most important. So changes Squall of Thorns, which was her her P3. It's too many PSCs. Her passive 3. Originally, it'll read that she needs to use her S3 to activate it. Her C3 is what makes it so it's when attacking with any other skill. Any skill. If we need to refresh, inflicts defense down or defense decrease and damage taken increase. Very, 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 very powerful debuffs. But since you're not going to be using her S3 for anything, you really, 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 probably one of the most important C3s in the game. This just makes it so you can, it'll go on any attack. And you're going to open up with her S2 regardless of her relic, probably. Not that interesting, right? Decreases attack edge by 10 and inflicts recovery disruption for 1 turn whenever an ally attacks an enemy with an abnormal status. Fine, but not game breaking. This one has attack speed, lots of attack speed, 20 attack speed on it, her C5. Very, very, very important if you want to be running her in arena. And then, okay, attack, not important. Defense, not really important. This one, cool. Veil of Night inflicts suspended animation on all enemies for 5 turns. Basically becomes incapacitated until hit. Basically asleep. And damage taken increased by 50%. It's actually quite... It's actually quite a good boost at the beginning of battle. What's Veil of Night? Let's go refresh. It's this one right here. So this one, when attacking while... So this is the one that you're going to have to change it to night, right? And it only gets inflicted when she drops below 50% and then attacks. So when she drops below 50% and then she attacks, she's going to inflict this debuff on everybody, becomes incapacitated until hit. Basically, that attack... AoE, incapacitated, just frozen. Now, if you follow that up with an AoE attack, then they all wake up. But for that one attack, they're going to be taking 50% increased damage with. If you follow it up with a Bedivere, then point and shoot, they're dead, right? And then C9, again, very, very important for arena attack speed, which we'll talk about later in this video. So, complicated kit, lots of moving parts. One of the best heroes in the game. You get her for free at the start of battle. Equipment. Now, you got to build her 2 ways. You really do got to build her 2 ways. So this is my preset 1 for... I'm just throwing out 95% of the game. You're going to be running her in this set right here. Vigor and accuracy. You want effect accuracy on the neck. You want effect accuracy on the belt. You want attack speed on the ring. You want attack speed on the orb, and then you want attack speed. This doesn't matter, really, but you want attack speed on everything, and you want an accuracy set. Attack speed, effect accuracy, attack speed, effect accuracy, attack speed. Your most important stats after the primaries that we discussed is effect accuracy to land those debuffs, and attack speed to go really, really fast. That's her PvE set. PvE, player versus environment. For PvP, you want her in a I'm lightning fast speed set. Speed set and accuracy, because you still want to land some debuffs. Again, you want effect accuracy on the neck, effect accuracy on the orb. Again, you want attack speed, primary ring, attack speed, primary orb. And then the same thing, it's even more important to get really big attack speed substats on all your gear, and effect accuracy as well. But in the PvE set where effect accuracy was your main priority substat, in this set, attack speed is your main priority substat, because fastest Morgan in arena wins. So that is how to build and how to interpret all of her skills and yada yada yada. In a nutshell, every relic you're likely going to be doing S2. Now let's go show where you use her in game. And spoiler warning, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Plane of Beasts. There you go. Fire Morgan. Obviously, you want to run her in her PvE set, though, so let's go like that. Fire Morgan, Plane of Beasts. Must use all the way up to stage 10. Gorgos. Not going to use her there. That's the one place you're not going to use her. Frozen Plain. You want her, but to do Aldry, to use her in Aldry 10, and there are other teams for Aldry 10. To use her effectively, you want the Wind Relic. And then Betty's going to follow behind and just like spank really, really hard. So, and then in Cat 10, Tarask 10, there she is again, Fire Relic, right? This team I know is hard to make, but very, very easy, fast team. What's my fastest time? 1 minute and 9 seconds. I know a lot of people are quicker. and until I figured it out, I was looking at like 6 minutes, which sucks. But there she is again, Vigor set, Fire Relic. So in the power-up dungeons, you're going to use her at a 3 out of 4. Not saying you have to, just saying you will. And then in equipment dungeons, in Nest, you're going to use her with her Ice Relic. Ice Relic. Here's where you want the Ice Relic. Why? Because she won't take a bunch of damage. You don't want her in fire. Wind is meh, but ice works very, very well with this one, just for the elemental affinities. So that's Nest. If we look at Apollia, which is an ice dragon, oh, go look. Wind Relic. Wind Relic. So remember, if you had her, I think it's the Wind Relic with her S3. Actually, we can look at that. It's not. It's the Ice Relic. You know, this does give shields. That is a viable strategy for Apollia. Because, you know, Guinevere is slow. She gives shields on the S2. But if you put up shields, basically, you're invincible. So you could run her in the Ice Relic here and spam this, the S3. But I like running this for the defense decrease too. Which is also here, right? Damage taken increase too. Different debuff, right? Yeah, defense decrease. So I like the win there, but there you see she's in that one too. And then in Arcellus, who is the Wind Dragon, go figure, Fire Morgan. Fire Morgan. So she is used in every single one of the equipment dungeons. Then let's show you. You're going to use her everywhere in Clan Raid. You're going to use her basically in every single team in Forbidden Dungeon. Favorite dungeon we don't got to talk about because you're going to use her where she's applicable there. Master of Death. There you go. Fire Morgan. Master of the Apocalypse. Cromcrotch. The Crotch. Fire Morgan. So you're going to use her there too. Where else can we use her, sir? Well, we use her everywhere. Colosseum. She is the #1 most important PvP hero. So, you're going to run her in fire, but you're going to run her in her speed set. Why? Because Fastest Morgan wins. Fastest Morgan wins. Why? I'll show you why. I'll give you an example. So this is a bot we're going up against, but she's going to reduce her turn meter. Clarison's going to go give us more turn meter. Cormac's going to go smash, you're dead. Then he's going to hit again. And then Bedivere's going to follow up at the very end and go, you're dead, and you're dead. All of that was only made possible by having a blisteringly fast... Ooh. Oh, and then Clarison just says, you're still dead. All of that was made possible by a blistering... Whoa, okay. A blistering fast Morgan. Basically, like I said, Fastest Morgan wins. You're going to want her at C9, which makes me want to tell you to prioritize her C9 over other heroes. Although I know you're going to want to use those legendary memory stones all over the place, right? All over the place. Every event that comes up, you're going to use her in every event, except Gorgos. Again, she's not good in Gorgos. That's like the one place that you're never going to use her. And I know, before people say in the comments, I'm free to play. I'm never going to have Wind Relic. I'm never going to have the Ice Relic. Eventually, I'm just showing you her capability. Her capability. I think that's about it. I think that's really all there is. on probably one of the best heroes, if not the best hero in the game. She's definitely the most used hero in the game, and that should make her the best by default. She does have, you know, a little bit of synergy with Akalan, but really doesn't matter. These are characters that she co-op attacks with. She co-ops attacks with Clarison as well when someone's using an S1, but it's only a 30% chance. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is Morgan. Morgan Le Fay, the infamous Morgan Le Fay. Not in a nutshell. But yes, that's my deep dive on Morgan. Word of the day is, we'll just say Le Fay, since they don't add that. I don't know why they don't add that, but she's Morgan Le Fay. The word of the day is Morgan is Le Fay. Put that in the comment section below. I'll know you made it to the end. I will thank you profusely. All of the links are in the description of this video. Go look on them. Go click on them. They take you places. Good places. Happy places. Places with free stuff. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Catch you in the next one. Cheers, peace. Bye-bye.